There are days in life when joy comes quietly, not in big moments or grand events, but in the simple comfort of something familiar. For me, one of those places, one of those soft, safe corners of the world, is a 1965 Elvis Presley film called Girl Happy. It may not be the biggest movie he ever made. It may not be the ones critics rave about. But it does something special, something gentle, something real. It makes me feel happy, and that alone makes it priceless. This is my tribute, my love letter, my documentary-style reflection on a movie that lifts my spirit every single time I watch it. This is Finding My Smile, the joy of Elvis Presley's Girl Happy. Before we talk about the movie itself, we have to step back into the world Elvis Presley walked into in the early 60s. Music was changing fast, the Beatles were rising, culture was shifting, movies were becoming bolder, younger, wilder. And right in the middle of all that movement, there was Elvis, still glowing with a charm that made the world stop and stare in the first place. When Girl Happy arrived in 1965, Elvis stood at a fascinating crossroads, one foot in the golden glow of the 1950s, and one foot touching the edges of a new era. Yet even through that transition, he carried the same thing he always had, an energy that made people feel good, a presence that filled a room, a smile that lifted spirits, mine included. The first time I saw Girl Happy, it felt like walking into a room filled with sunlight, pastel colours, beach town energy, romantic mischief, music that sticks in your heart. There's a playfulness to it, a lightness, a carefree charm that instantly wraps around you like warm weather after a long winter. Some movies entertain you, but Girl Happy makes you smile. And that's rare. That's something you hold on to. On the surface, Girl Happy is simple. Elvis plays Rusty Wells, a singer tasked with keeping an eye on Valerie, the daughter of a protective monster. But when you look closer, there's something tender between the comedy and chaos. You see responsibility, you see care, you see connection. Rusty doesn't just watch Valerie, he understands her. He sees beyond the surface. He listens, notices, and responds with warmth and sincerity. And that's one of the things I love about Elvis in this film. He shows humour, yes. Charm, yes. But also a gentle sort of steadiness, a quiet protectedness, a softness that's unmistakably Elvis. One of the reasons Girl Happy makes me feel happy is because it looks like happiness. Everything in the film, the clothes, the colour, the beach scenery, the spring break atmosphere, feels like a warm memory. Not flashy, not loud, just bright, comforting, inviting. There's something magical about the soft lighting, the turquoise water, the pastel hotels, the classic 1960s charm. It captures a moment in time that feels sweet, gentle, and uncomplicated. Sometimes life is heavy. Sometimes days are long. But this movie is a breath of warmth air. A reminder that joy can be simple and that happiness can be found in small, colourful places. You can't talk about Girl Happy without talking about its music. It may not be Elvis's most famous soundtrack, but it has a special flavour. A cheerfulness, a bounce, a light-hearted spirit. Songs like Girl Happy, Spring Fever, Puppet on a String, Jew the Clam, The Meanest Girl in Town. They aren't just background music, they're part of the film's heartbeat. Elvis' voice in this movie is warm and confident, full of the charisma that makes you instinctively relax. Sometimes when I hear their songs, they lift me instantly, like they were written to remind people that joy still exists. And that's why they matter to me, because when something makes you happy, even for a moment, it becomes part of your life. The chemistry between Elvis Presley and Shelley Fabares is one of the movie's greatest strengths. It's playful, romantic, natural, and filled with genuine sweetness. They don't just act together, they glow together. Their scenes feel like two people who truly enjoy each other's energy. Every smile looks real, every glance looks warm, every moment breathes with softness. The connection gives the film its heart. It makes the story feel grounded, human, and tender. It's part of why the movie feels so good. Part of why it makes me smile. There is only one Elvis Presley, and Girl Happy is a perfect example of that. He doesn't just show up. He lights up the screen. Even when the story is silly, he brings sincerity. Even when the plot gets wild, he stays grounded. He sings with his whole heart. He acts with easy charm. He radiates warmth from every frame. There's a genuine authenticity in him. A genuineness that you can't fake, can't teach, can't replicate. And that authenticity is exactly what makes him timeless. In Girl Happy, Elvis doesn't just entertain. He gives joy, real joy, the kind that reaches people, the kind that even decades later reaches me. Now the heart of everything. Why does this movie of all movies make me feel happy myself? It's because Girl Happy feels like a place where the world slows down, where problems fade, where the colours get brighter, where everything feels warm and effortless for a little while. When I watch it, my spirit gets lighter, my mind calms down, my heart softens. Some films impress you, some films entertain you, but Girl Happy welcomes you. It meets you where you are, and it brings you somewhere better. Happiness doesn't always come from big things. Sometimes it comes from a smile, a song, a scene, a moment of escape. And this movie, with its sunshine and music, and Elvis's unmistakable glow, gives me that feeling every time. That's why it matters to me, in a way that's personal, quiet, and beautiful. Underneath the fun, there is something emotional in Girl Happy that often gets overlooked. Rusty Wells isn't just a carefree singer. He's someone learning responsibility, someone learning to protect and care for another person, someone who grows without losing his spark. Valerie isn't just a rich girl on spring break. She's someone discovering freedom, love, and trust. Elvis brings a gentle, steady warmth to the film, a kind of an emotional anchor. He reassures, he supports, he shines. And as an audience member, you feel that warmth reaching you too. There's something healing in that, something hopeful. That's why this movie stays with me, because it reminds me that kindness, care, and joy can be found even in the simplest of stories. Part of what makes Girl Happy so magical is its place in 1960s cinema. This was a decade of bright colours, romantic comedies, musicals, and beach films that felt like mini vacations. But Girl Happy stands out because of Elvis, because he brought something more than dancing and sunshine. He brought soul. He brought charm that didn't feel scripted. He brought laughter that felt honest. He brought a presence that was both powerful and soft. It's a reminder of why the 1960s still fascinate people today. Because the art was vibrant, the music was alive, and performers like Elvis were legends in the making. Sometimes it's not the big scenes that make a movie special. It's the small ones. The little smiles, the musical transitions, the playful glances between Elvis and Shelley, the silly spring break chaos, the colourful costumes, the side characters who add charm and flavour. All these small details blend together to create a movie that feels like joy wrapped in film. And those small moments stick with me. They're the moments I carry with me when I need a lift, a breath, a reminder of something soft and bright. So why does a 1965 film still matter? Why does it still bring people, including me, happiness? Because joy never goes out of style. Because kindness always stays timeless. Because Elvis's presence is something you feel, not just watch. Go Happy shows the beautiful side of entertainment. A world of colour, music, romance and gentle simplicity. It gives you permission to stop for a moment, to breathe, to smile, to be light-hearted. That's something today's world still needs, maybe now more than ever. So why do I love Go Happy? Because it makes me feel happy myself. Not in a loud way, not in a dramatic way, in a quiet, comforting way that reaches straight to the heart. It's a movie that glows, a movie that lifts, a movie that brings out my smile every single time. Elvis didn't just act. He didn't just sing. He made people feel. And in Go Happy, he still does. Decades later, across time, across generations, he still brings joy. He still brings warmth. He still brings sunshine. This movie is more than a film. It's a feeling, a memory preserved in colour and music, a happy place I can return to whenever I need it. And that's why this story, this moment, this tribute is called Finding My Smile. Because sometimes happiness doesn't come from where you expect it. Sometimes it comes from a beach, a song, a pastel-coloured 1960s dream, and a man with a voice and a heart big enough to make the whole world feel lighter. So thank you, Elvis, and thank you, Go Happy, for giving me a place where my smile always returns.